Hello world, it is Wednesday, excuse me, December 29th, 2021. And looking out the window here in Defiance, it is kind of overcast and cloudy and damp. Snowed yesterday, not very much, maybe an inch, but it's warm enough that it's just kind of a sloppy, slushy mess, especially on the sidewalks. Most of the roads are clear, just damp. But it's a typical Midwest winter day. The devotion for today is entitled Umbilical Cord, and it's written by Molly Baskett. Molly bases the devotion upon Isaiah chapter 49, verse 15. Can a woman forget her nursing child or show no compassion for the child of her womb? Even these may forget, yet I will not forget you. Molly writes, the first time I left my infant daughter to walk 4 blocks down the street for a quick date with my husband, I felt an invisible umbilical cord stretched between us. It physically hurt to leave her presence, and I was so anxious I couldn't relax and enjoy my glistening mountain of fettuccine Alfredo and a glass of Cabernet. Was she okay? How would her body, created and still totally nourished or sustained by my own body, survive my absence? My leaky breasts seemed to know every time she mewed, gritched, or wailed. When I walked in the door later that night and spotted her swaddled in her grandfather's embrace, oxytocin and relief flooded my being. Isaiah was wrong. I could never forget my nursing child. But she will forget me. Even now at age 14, she is cuddled up beside me, reading a book, yet totally oblivious of me. This is as it should be. Children grow up, stretch the invisible umbilical cord, and sometimes even cut it. Parents, we have succeeded when we have, more or less, worked ourselves out of a job and released our children to their own paths and purpose. But that doesn't mean we forget them. We close our eyes and can instantly conjure up a treasured or tense memory, recall the smell of their heads or their gym socks, find a strand of worry for them though they are 43 and living happily in Cincinnati. This is what God is like with us, her babies. We may sometimes feel that God has forgotten us, but more often it is we who have forgotten God. The reality is, God always has us on her mind. The God who grew us and nourished us with her own body is ever mindful of the cord that is stretched between us, taut but never broken. And the prayer. God, lean in and smell my head. Let me find comfort at your breast. I need you always, even when I pretend otherwise. Amen. Yeah, this devotion for me brings up many different thoughts and emotions. Certainly as a father of an adult child, I can relate to that, some of the same feelings. Your child is always your child, no matter how old they are. And I think that was true for my parents as well. And although they died a few years ago, I think even me in my late 50s at the time, I was still their child, and they still worried about me and were concerned about me. But I think the important thing in this message is that God never stops loving us. God is always interested in us and cares for our well-being and wants the best for us no matter what. And I hope sometimes, like remembering the love my parents had for me, it's enough to sustain us and get us through the difficult times. Anyway, so I hope you have a good day, and I hope to talk to you again tomorrow.